Two of the most storied franchises in baseball will meet in the World Series for the fourth time. Ben Reiter, Ted Keith here with me. So what are you expecting from this matchup of two teams that won more games than anybody in Major League Baseball this year, Ben?
Well, these are the two most relentless teams in baseball. We saw that all October. These teams just never quit. And part of that comes from the fact that they have the two best offenses in baseball. I actually think that these offenses in the World Series setting will be very, very equal. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that the Cardinals getting Alan Craig back for the World Series will now be able to put together an AL-style lineup. You can DH Craig, DH Matt Adams. They're not going to suffer that usual disadvantage the National League teams do in the World Series.
Yeah, I wonder what they're going to get from a guy like Craig, though, because usually if you bring a guy back from an injury, especially an injury from this long, you're going to let him ease back in. You're going to send him to rehab. You're going to let him get instructional league games and whatever. He's going to jump back in against some of the best pitchers the American League has to offer in an environment where offenses usually suffer at the hands of good pitching anyway. So now that's not to say he can't have an impact, because all it would take is one or two big hits. I think he batted under 270 in the World Series a couple years ago, but he had 3 huge home runs. So if he gets a couple of big home runs in this series, no one's going to really care what his batting average was. But that being said, you're right. The offenses are both terrific for both of these teams. I wonder if the Red Sox actually get hurt by the DH situation, because if they want to use David Ortiz when the series goes to St. Louis, they got to take Mike Napoli out of the lineup, and that's going to hurt them.
So that's one way that both of these teams are similar. Give me one place, Ben, where you think that either team has a decided advantage over the other.
I think right now, at this very moment, the Cardinals have an advantage in the starting rotation. I mean, based on how pitchers are currently throwing, I think you have to say that they have the two best starters in the series in Adam Wainwright and, of course, the incredible Michael Wacha. It's hard to separate these teams. They're very similar, but if I had to pick one, I would look at that.
Yeah, I would agree. That's exactly the sentiment. Very hard to separate them, but I'm going to go with Koji Uehara at the back of the Red Sox bullpen. Not that I think Trevor Rosenthal can't get it done, but this is a rookie, a guy who started closing a week before the postseason, going up against someone who probably had the best season by a closer extended, obviously, into October. This season has been murder on both lefties and righties. Extremely hard to hit that splitter of his. So if there's a chance that the Red Sox can use him for even a 6-out save, I think they're going to go for it. They're going to try and lock these games down as soon as possible. I don't think Mike Matheny is comfortable giving Trevor Rosenthal a 6-out opportunity just yet.